Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so next we have Riley.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jovan.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm getting through it. My coffee's cold, but I'm getting through it.
Well, I appreciate your time, and I was curious as to your thoughts on remedy. So, just to set it, so what I've realized and kind of has been made clear to me, and I think many others, is that we can have good people doing good work, being truthful, and the Mockingbird media, agents, and liars will come in and mess it all up, right?
Correct.
So, um, what so your audit and the election theft and COVID and all the things that at the time I was hurt. It was physically and mentally and spiritually hurting me. I can see now that it is a blessing from on high that I was able to watch idols that I held get smashed in front of my face. And so my question is, so I've come to understand that we don't have government that is over the people. We only have servants.
That's
And
right.
if we don't grasp this psychological and actual written reality, do we have a chance at remedy? Or so the way I see the audit as being, you were there, you're telling truth, you are able to prove what you're saying, and now I can see that they screwed up the election and stole it, and then they screwed up the audit and stole it. So unless we put servants back in the box, is there a remedy? Like, it shouldn't matter who the freak is our servant, as if we can hold them inside the box that they agreed to. So that's my question. Do you think the remedy is found in the election or in understanding God's designed fundamental law that we're dealing with?
Great question. I think there's a lot of things we have to work on, but let's unpack each of these. The key to this is every one of you listening. The key is not your lawmakers. The key is you. You have to get involved. You've got to get active. You got to vote more than ever. But you now have to pay attention to the candidates. Because I'm telling you, I learned the hard way. I thought that the president of the United States was the most powerful position in the world. And I found out that rat bastards and a board of supervisors level at Arizona can screw up everything. So you got to vote every race, every time there is. Now, here's the next part of it. In Arizona would be a good example. And I think Liz Harris did a program on it. You could go watch. Even though people in Arizona voted in good precinct people, or actually got people that were going to help with the elections, the GOP wouldn't acknowledge them and ran them out. And so you have to understand that a lot of people that run at the local level, that the GOP will refuse to endorse them because the GOP wants puppets in, and so they will keep people out. And this is where you become the army and the force multiplier. You have to stand up and be heard. You can't be screaming at these people. You can't be cussing at these people and get a sharp stick up your ass, or I'm gonna knock your teeth out, I'm gonna beat your ass. You can't do that. You got to be respectful, and you've got to amplify the people that are really there and or true servants, have a servant's heart and want to fix this. Now, you can also have a lot of people that come in that say the right shit, that look really good. And you go, this is my person, they're saying the right thing. I'm actually telling you, do not trust anybody, because if they can't bring the receipts and you can't audit them, don't do it. And so you're going to have to accept the responsibility that in all of these people that are running, you've got to do your homework. You got to go back to their social media. You've got to go back for things they did or didn't vote for. And you've got to locally begin a dialogue with these people and holding them accountable. You're seeing things like, Mitch McConnell, who says we saw January 6th was an insurrection to overturn a duly certified. We have so many rat bastards in, so it's going to be a multi-layered level effect. But if you get involved at your local level, If you get involved at your local level and you get to know these people, you observe these people, you do not treat it just like headlines, and you stay away from just little bitty short tweets, bullshits, and influencers, and you get to know your people, you can ferret them out and you can hold them up. And what you do is you become the force multiplier. If we get those people in, which will take time, then we can begin to dismantle the corruption from inside. But you also have to understand what comes with it. We're the only nation in the world where a bartender with great hooters can come in and make, $160,000 a year, but 3 years later, she's worth 10 million. That's a rig. But you got to understand too, it's not about term limits. A lot of people say term limits, term limits, term limits. That's only one part of it. But you got to understand when freshman lawmakers come in to part of the process, they're not bringing their own staffs. What happens is their party, the GOP, here's who you should have your chief of staff, and the GOP puts their people in, and then their people become the gatekeepers, and they start working on that politician to move them the GOP's way. And you also don't understand that the GOP gives them their office and takes care of their people and pays them. The GOP does that. So you never know that. And if that lawmaker gets out of tune with the GOP will remove all of their staff and kick the lawmaker out of their offices. That's the control that the GOP has. And so you've got to be clear on these things. You have to understand the incestuous nature of it. And if you take the time to learn, you take the time to understand all of this stuff, and you become the most dangerous patriot in the room, which is what I try to teach people to do. You are the force multiplier. And if you get this out and enough people know, and enough people aren't chicken shit to amplify it, and you can't be swayed by somebody who says Jesus 2,000 times, right? Or acts like they're a preacher when they're not. And that's all you do it on. You got to do it on facts. If we can get enough people that really only care about truth, and you know what? You don't have to like the truth teller. You just have to embrace the truth. And if we can get enough of us together with that kind of impeccable standard, we can win it. But that's how we get all of this fixed. And I hope
Thanks.
that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thanks, Jovan. I think built into that a little bit is presumptions that I still battle with daily, like that we need somehow to get good people in. Like, I'm just learning to reject that idea because on that side of the fence is not where the power is. And it's on
Right.
our side of the fence.
That's
And
right.
so I try to battle that mentally, and Dave does a real good job of continuously building on that precept. And I just appreciate you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. God bless America.
Amen.